In this video, we will try to compare a PET sample using Avantage and using KherveFitting. And we will export the data that we obtained in an Avantage Thermo instrument into KherveFitting. So in here, there is a carbon 1s and oxygen 1s on survey from a PET sample. The results has been shown here. It's been quantified, and in here is the overall carbon area and the overall oxygen 1s area. So this is on the peak grid showing the results, and what we have here is the area which is been measured using this peak fitting, and then a corrected area which has been corrected using the TPP2M and other corrections factor that Thermo use. Okay, so we will try to prove that these values are also obtained on KherveFitting. So how do we first export data into Excel? Let's select the three, so those three are selected. Then we can go into reporting, and in reporting we should see this report to single without any names written here. If there is a name, you go to report options, and in report option you should remove absolutely everything in this location, and that will give you the empty file. And what you also want to have as a tick is you want the experimental command and the common property table for data files. Okay, and so right now, if we export this, so as you see it's empty, we just go to it, and we get on my second screen, unfortunately, we get this Excel file that is being created, and it's just created a peak table, now the carbon 1s, the survey, and that is it. So if I go into the, for example, carbon 1s, you will see that you have this acquisition parameter. So that is also used by KherveFitting, and you put it in the info file inside the info grid. Okay, so then you're just going to save it as a name. So I called it PET25. I've already made it. I can recall it the same name if I can do it quickly. Quantification. So in my PET2, and this is my PET25. So let me resave that. Okay. So once this is done, let's just close that. It is here now. And this is the one you're going to export. So all you have to do, you can import into the menu here, but you can simply drag it into the plot. You can actually drag multi-files into the plot, and it will convert them for you. So that's it, it's happening, and then you have PET25 KherveFitting that is created. And you will also see that, for example, here it goes up to 8 to the 5, and that's exactly what we get 8 to the 5 here. And if we go to carbon 1s, it seems to go to 2.5 to the 4. And this is what we get here, 2.5 to the 4, if I zoom to it. 2.5, 25,000. Okay? So it is like for like. Then, if we want to compare, for example, the CC value, we will try to get first this area. So let's create a Shirley background, and we will get the background up to the pi star. Okay, so that seems to be good. We can also go down to check how good it's been done. Maybe we want to go up to here. So I'm just dragging this, and now I'm going to press Shift, and then just move it where I want. So now you can't really go higher than the data. So this is as good as it gets. I zoom out, and I'm going to create my peak fitting now. And I will use a void because this is what I've used on Avantage. Now I'm going to add one pick, add two picks, and I may move. So now I'm going to press tab, and if I press tab, I've got this pick A and pick B, and I like to put this one here. And then I'm going to create a new one, so it goes there, that's fine. I'm going to create another one, which is our pi star, and that's the one here. So I've pressed tab and I move it down here. And because there may be, this time it's a PET, so I don't think the full result maximum is going to be the same. So I'm going to let it fit, and you may find that the full result maximum 1.07, 1.08, but 0.86 for the for this pick here. So that's why it's not exactly the same. Okay, so we can, if we want, we can make the shape LG ratio all the same by typing A in the constraint, A in the constraint, because it will be more or less the same. And this one too, and fit again, and that will slightly change the values. As you can see, it's not fitting as nice now because it's slightly more Lorentzian, but we've decided to constrain it to that. So now what we can check is first our CC pick, and we'll use this as our witness. So CC picks we get is 22533, and what we get here is 22522, which is pretty good comparison. So it's almost the same. And then if we look at CO, so I call that CO, then we come to an area of 8,786, and the CO in here is been calculated as, okay, slightly more. Yes, okay, that was the one, sorry. This is 7,664, so which is still very close. So then, when you pass that, you can export that, and then we selected in our settings the AL Thermo O1, and we selected the TPP2M, and then the corrected background is shown here. So for CC, we had 28,416 that give around 398 as a corrected area. And this is very close to what we had found on Avantage. So then we can continue with our oxygen 1s and fit the same way. Now you get the oxygen. So let me go and see the oxygen. So you can see it's very similar. So I'm going to take those two, and this I got 1.39, 1.18, and the area was 28,879. So I'm going to create two. Again, they may be slightly different, so I will let them do what they need to do. That's done. And so I find, and this actually became, this one here is my pick, my second pick. So that's 21,879 for my second pick. And for my second pick, which is this one here, I get 22,358. So again, very close. And then 18,757 for the next one. And I found 18,837. So that's actually a quite good comparison, because now the corrections for this one, which is 18,837. So let's see what this 18,837 gave. It gives 109 as a corrected area. And if I pass that, export that into the results grid, we may find, so this was pick 2, and pick 2, so was this one, and we found 108, and he found 109, and it shows that it's exactly the same. Okay, and then the concentration is, for example, we could take, and I may I may just remove and just name them as I need to. So this is my O double bond C. I like to call it because we are looking at oxygen at the moment. And this is 533, so it's my O single bond C. And if I re-export that, so I get these values. So P1, CC was this one. So if I just compare the atomic concentration between my O double bond C, I get a 21 to 78. And if I look for my CC, maybe just the same, to yeah, atomic concentration 2180, 78.2. When I get here, 78.5, 21.5. So this shows how comparable KherveFitting is to Avantage.